Hello, welcome to our creativity facilitation today for the Gentle 30. I was noticing in the comments that when people had challenges with completing their different 10-minute segments, creativity seemed to pop up as one where folks were just a little bit more resistant. So as usual, sometimes my internet is not so awesome right now. I apologize. It's going to be a while before that gets fixed. So if I cut out and then come back, I will come back. It's just usually a very quick blip. That said, I am looking into and I upgraded so that I would be able to basically stream live a pre-recorded so that I can interact live on the comments, but that the video is actually pre-recorded. So I'm going to test that out in the coming weeks. So welcome. Hi. To get started, we are just going to jump right in. And I think that it's important to take a lesson from Lenedra Carroll, who is the mom of Jewel, and also the Jewel, the singer-songwriter, but also the author of one of my favorite books called The Architecture of All Abundance. And she makes an effort to start every meeting with silence. And that's what I'm going to do. So whenever you're watching this, whether you join later or watch the replay, we're going to start with silence. So I like to close my eyes. You need not. We're going to take a deep breath. I like to sigh. And now I'm going to be quiet. Welcome back. Just a little cushion of quiet in our days. After I get off this video, I'm going to share with you what's been going on in our day and that this feels like such a respite. So get out your utensil for whatever you want to do. And then I'm going to show you something super crazy. I'm going to write and be doing my creativity in this book, in papers, which for some book lovers is like not okay. But you know what? This is my book. I'll show you what the book is too. It's really fantastic. It's called The Green Witch's Grimoire. And in many ways, I've had a grimoire, many of them for a long time. I just didn't know it. And it's been a wonderful way to think about my creativity in a different way. But for the purposes of today and getting into our creativity, I want us to have two things. One is no expectations, and two is fun and delight and curiosity. So I guess that's 4 things, but you get what I'm saying. So I'm going to give you some prompts, and then I want you to just free flow. And I want this to be a period of time that has, a start and an end, so that if you ever need to come back to access some creativity in a different way, you can. Now, take your utensil, and I just want you to start making marks on the page. Like, make whatever marks make your arm happy. So for me right now, it's like a bunch of spirals. So I'm doing that. And while you're doing whatever marks you're making, and maybe you have paint or maybe you have a marker, maybe do your marks without bringing your utensil up from the paper. Maybe you just keep doing continuous marks. And then once you've done, pull your pencil or pen up and you make marks that have beginnings and ends. See what that's like. All the while you're doing this, you're breathing. In your nose, out of your nose. It's so nice to take a deep breath, to have a pencil in my hand. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing so that you don't have any judgment on what you're doing. Oh, wait. You can see that because it's really washed out, but it's just like swirls. Swirls. It feels so good. So I'm making swirl marks. And it's super nice. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to keep breathing. I have no intention of making this a representational work of art. It does not need to look like anything. I'm just making marks. And once you get to a point where you feel like you're complete with that motion, whatever marks you're making, take a second. You can even put your utensil down. Just look at it. Maybe have a smile on your face. Take a deep breath again. You're noticing some themes. And then take your utensil back up. And I want you to make a different kind of mark. So for me, I'm going to make lines. Woo! So nice. They're very firm, like hard, forceful lines. Just see what your hand wants to do. Let it guide you. There is no right or wrong. Now, if you're feeling at a loss for what marks you want to make, no big deal. Here, I'm going to show you what mine looks like again in the in papers of my book. If you're at a loss, something you can do is start by just doodling your name, which I'm going to do now. I'm going to doodle the date, which is actually not, in fact, July. It is August. And then you can start making doodles around that. And if high school was not, in fact, a traumatizing time, you can think about all the doodles you made in your margins in high school. Like, what did you like to draw? I know the patterns I like to draw. So many patterns. I used to doodle a lot while I was listening to lectures. And again, breathe. No judgment. Just have fun making marks with your utensil on whatever material you have in front of you. And just feel what wants to come up. Now, if you want to do something fun times that is a bit more, artsy or representational, look at something on your table, whatever surface is in front of you. I have a lot of things to choose from because my daughter just played makeup here. So I'm going to draw this, but I want you to pick something that's just in front of your face to draw. So if that's something that appeals to you, otherwise keep making marks. So I'm just going to make my little bows. And super fun. I don't really have my perspective right, but that doesn't matter because this is just easy peasy. We get to make anything look how we want it to. It does not have to be accurate, right? All right. So if you're drawing something that's on your desk, it might take you a little bit of time. Take all the time you need. And if you are the literary sense, you tend to go towards writing, speaking, poetry, whatever, then I want you to take your utensil and I want you to write the first words that come to you. I can't see you. Hello, you are not late. You are right on time. We are making marks in our paper. You can make any mark you want. And then I just drew something that's right in front of me, which happens to be like a little kid makeup situation. But you're just doodling, basically like high school notebook doodling. And as I was going to say too, about if you're more literary, I want you just to take a deep breath and then just write words that come to you. They can be free form, they can be word association. You can have more of a journal perspective, but I want you just to write some words that are coming out. And again, you've noticed I'm deep breathing big time. Come back to your breath. Always let that be like the center line, sort of like a channel through you as you're doing whatever it is that you're doing that is your creative practice for your 10 minutes. And the thing about the words, if you can, is to just let your judgment go by the wayside. This is not about producing a piece. It's not about having something that is consumable or quote unquote good for someone else. It's literally just getting us into a different part of ourselves. It's accessing a different part of ourselves. It's giving ourselves just a little, like I said at the beginning, a cushion in our day where we get to flow whatever's coming through our hands into a utensil right in front of us. in any way that feels good, because it's physical, right? It's physical, it's emotional. Every time I get out my paints lately, I cry. I think it's one of the reasons I haven't been doing it that much. If you've ever had creative wounding, then even this gentle 10 minutes can feel big. And so I want you to meet yourself with zero expectation about producing something. I want you to meet yourself with just curiosity and what does your hand want to do? Where does your hand want to go? Is it wanting to write words? Is it wanting to write shapes? Is it wanting to make marks? What does that look like? And it doesn't have to mean anything. It doesn't have to mean anything at all. So here's what I've come up with. We've hit 10 minutes. These are the end papers of my Green Witch's Grimoire book. And now it is really fun. And I'm happy that it has this inside it. And if that's a little too high stakes, use low stakes paper. Use paper that comes in the mail. So I'm going to show you this. It's my Toll by Mail from 2018. I don't even know how it got here to DR. Guess what? This is a perfect piece of paper for your creative 10 minutes, because you can take markers. I'm going to take this marker and you can just like go nuts all over it. And it feels good. So I don't want you to be precious about your materials. Like these markers, by the way, are Charlotte's. She loves this one clearly because it's the most expensive marker in here, a Tombow. But the rest are just like kitty markers. And I want you not to be precious with your art practice. You need not haul out the paints if that's not what you're feeling. You can use any paper that is available to you. You can throw your paper away when you're done. Okay. It's really just about, I don't know if it helps you, but it certainly helped me in a day that has been incredibly chaotic. To sit here, make a few marks, do some deep breathing, and have this little space that's just for me, just for you in your day. And that's ultimately the purpose. It's not so that we can create the next big whatever art piece with this 10 minutes. It's something else entirely. So I want you to have that perspective when you go into it, especially if you are an artist and that is your work and that's your métier, that's what you're called to do. I would love for this 10 minutes to be actually completely expectation free. So with that, I'm going to close. And I do want us to close the same way we open, which is with just a little bit of silence. So let your eyes close if that's available to you right now. Let your breath come however it will. Give thanks for the respite you gave yourself. Wiggle those shoulders a bit, your head, open your eyes. Happy Friday, everyone. Happy creativity. If you have any thoughts or questions or comments about this kind of 10-minute creative practice, then please let me know. And if there's something specific you want to see me do with regard to creativity, I would be happy to hear it too. I have a lot of creative practices, I think, that I didn't realize, and I would love to share them, but I also want to know what you guys are mostly interested in. So thank you. See you soon. And yay, you filled up 4 pages in that 5 minutes. I love it. It feels so good, doesn't it? It's amazing. Making marks. So therapeutic. I love that. And yay. I can't wait to hear more about what you're doing with the creative piece. And I hope that it doesn't become the one piece that's hard. And as things settle down here, I'll be able to do a couple more facilitated practices, movement, meditation, and creativity in the latter half of the month. So, all right, lovelies, have a good weekend.